Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now in this video we're going to take another look at Necropolis. This was on my final path, which I did about a week and a half ago, and the path started with Sauron and then it went over to Silver Surfer, and essentially I needed to bring in one champion to answer this Storm Pyramid X. Now her node is very long. Essentially what you need to know is, it's a beefy Storm X. She's got 7.5 million health, which is toward the upper limit of the HP that you're going to see in this content, honestly. And then additionally, she just has other ways of gaining extra prowess and getting her Tempest both active at the same time and things like that. You don't necessarily need to understand her node. You just know that she's going to be going unblockable a little bit more than a normal Storm, especially as the fight gets going. And the other thing is the trap node is pretty tricky for her because you cannot dex or evade her specials after you throw a special in a little bit of a window. So the thing I've seen the most here is if people aren't using Aegon, who honestly does work absolutely fine for this fight, sort of just death by basic hits and don't throw specials. A lot of people use G2099. The challenge with G2099 is that all of her basic hits, most of them are going to glance, so you don't necessarily get all that extra red damage and the degens, but your special one will not glance. It'll always get the power drain, and you can essentially prevent her from throwing specials or, bait them in the times when you need to bait them and things like that. And she actually works quite well, especially if you can get her ramped. The thing is, if you don't have her ramped, I don't think you can really do this in less than like 1 or 2 revives. Probably more likely 2 or 3 if I were playing really well, and I think maybe some players that are better than me could do it a little bit faster. So I decided to do something a little interesting and take in my newest Ascended champ, which is Future Ant-Man, and see how he would do. Now he is not a 7-star, so he does not have as long to survive as G2099 would. However, he really doesn't rely on basic hits for anything except for, occasionally doing like the light attack thing that you do with him, where you lose your special and go to the special below where you want to go. Aside from that, he's basically a throw specials type champion, and I wanted to see how well he could do with the similar idea that he can essentially like power control her, prevent her from throwing specials, and that when I'm in cooldown, when the power detonation is off, that is when it's safe to bait specials, and then when the power detonation is red and when it's on, that is when we're going to want to not have her throw specials anyway, because that's how you play Future Ant-Man. And I just kind of wanted to see how much damage I could do in one try. And spoiler, I was very happy with this, and I'm super glad I got to bring him. The issue with G2099, of course, is that, starting unramped, you're basically not doing any damage at the beginning, and it's a little tricky. So you do need to just know that going in with her, that if you make a really bad mistake, the entire try could be completely destroyed because you're not going to really start doing damage till later in the fight. But with Future Ant-Man, he's pretty much ready to go right at the beginning. We just want to be throwing our specials so that we get the disintegration, allowing the power detonation to expire naturally to get the disintegration. And then if we can throw a special 2 with 1 or 2 disintegration, that is plenty. It's going to be doing a ton of damage. So right here I throw another special 1. You can see the passive. It looks like a slow icon. It just means that I can't evade. But yeah, we built up to our Surging Swarm. That was just by like intercepting and baiting heavies a little bit at the beginning. Now we kind of have her right where we want her to disintegrate, and the power detonation is about to expire and go on. We bait one more special at just the right time, and I should be able to throw this one off with, well, I guess we only had 1 that time, but you could see even with just 1, each of those hits when the power detonation is active is hitting for 40k. We're getting a little bit of extra red damage as well from the disintegration. So, this is sort of the strategy here, and basically as much as we can, we want to set up the special 2s. Even if we only have the 1 disintegration, it's not the end of the world. But you can see we get in this cycle of, we bait the special when the power detonation is on cooldown. We throw our special 2 for those like 40k burst damage during the special detonation, and then we just sort of hold block and allow our power control to do the rest of the thing. We are controlling our combat power rate. We are getting little power drains every time the power detonation starts or when we throw the special 1, and then it's safe to bait. And you know, we're already under 90% and we still are in the first phase of this fight. So my concluding thoughts here, I am going to just let this play out for a little bit. You can see how much damage I take off in one try, but I do think if you don't have G2099, even for the other side of the map, this guy is going to work for a lot of the fights. I know that he works for Silver Centurion. I think he can even work for some of the tricky fights like Jubilee. If you don't have somebody who doesn't crit, he's just going to sort of be able to get things done. And I know for a fact that MP Blaze, one of my good friends in the game, did end up using his future Ant-Man Ascended because he doesn't have Guillotine 2099. And, you know, he really does kind of sub pretty well for her, even though he's only a 6-star. So let me know what you think. We've entered the second phase here, and I do want you to watch the whole clip just to kind of see a little bit how foolproof this system is. It just, like I said, really lines up where you're just baiting specials at the right time, you're throwing specials at the right time, and just doing enough damage. Plus, you glance everything yourself, so you can see that even for a 6-star, he's super tanky. I've barely taken any damage, even though we got hit once. And what I end up doing is taking off 35% health, which is, you know, close to like 3 million health or so, and that is phenomenal for a 6-star to get in there and be able to do this fight in 2 revives, taking off 1/3 of the health each time. That's what we ended up doing, and that's all you can ask for, man. When you are bringing in a specific champ for a specific counter like that, if you can get it done in 3 revives, that means it's good to me. That means it's a really good counter. If you can do it in 2, that means it's a really, really good counter. If you can solo it or do it in 1, then you pretty much have a perfect counter. But this is a tricky fight, and knowing that future Ant-Man is very safe and that he can get it done like this, I think could be valuable to other people planning their runs. So anyway, let me know what you think. I'm going to let this play out the rest of the way. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.